Hello guys, so on the previous video we were able to find some credentials, but we have not yet used those credentials. So what we want to do is do a lot more of enumeration. Like I said before, enumeration is key in the penetration whenever you're doing a pen testing, because if you don't do good enumeration, you won't be able to basically get into or what you want to attack. So enumeration is really key. If you don't know how to do enumeration, you won't be able to get into a network. So since we're talking about enumeration, we are going to do more enumeration, and for this one we are going to use a tool which is called winapsearch. And winapsearch is a Python script to help enumerate users, groups, and computers from Windows domain through LDAP. And if you guys remember, we found I believe 2 servers that have LDAP service running, which means that both of them are domain controllers, and those I put those in cherry tree. Remember when we did that, it was that 50 is using LDAP, as you can see over here, port 389. And also the other one I believe was 52. You can see right here that it has LDAP. So both of these are probably running the Active Directory LDAP. So that's why we are going to be querying or getting domain information from both of those servers, and we are going to be using, like I said, winapsearch. That's what it's called, a Python script, and it's going to be able to pull that information from LDAP, like computers, user groups, and a lot of more stuff, and that's going to get it through the LDAP port 389. And you can either use the winap search.py, which is for Python 3, or Python 2. They also have a Python 2 in here, which is kind of cool, and here's how you can use it and all that good stuff. So I'm going to add a document that you can download, and it's going to have all the commands that we're going to be running here today. But before we do anything, let's go ahead and download this. Let's do a wget and download this. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and in my directory, this is where I'm working at, I want to go ahead and create a file. So make directory, we're just going to call it tools. So we are going to go into the tools directory, and in here we are going to be downloading all the tools so we can keep everything organized, or try to make everything organized. There we go. So ls, you can see that we had the winsearch cd. Let's see what this ls did. I not okay, I think I downloaded the HTML instead of the. So what if we do a get clone and put this IP? What did I download? What wget, what it did was it downloaded the HTML file. We don't want that. So we actually want to do is we want to because we want to download everything. Do I not have get installed in here? Yeah, we do have it in here. So get, so we can do a get clone, or we can just get clone, and we can just call get. Wait, did I forget how to do this? Is get clone restore grep. So get clone is going to clone the entire repository. Wow, it is get should be get. There you go. So I don't know why it did not work before, but now it did. Let's see what command did we do before. Get clone. That's weird. Okay, that's fine. Clear this out. We go ls cd winapsearch ls, see what we have in here. So as you can see, we have the winapsearch.py, and also for Python 3, and they also created one for Python 2, but we're going to be using the Python 1 version. And if you want to see the commands that you can run, you can just run a winapsearch, and this one will give you all the commands that you could use. So what I first want to do is I want to see if we can enumerate or if we can query LDAP without adding any credentials. We do have credentials, but I want to see if it's actually going to be working without credentials. So we want to do a Python 3 winapsearch.py and we need to specify the domain name. I believe the domain name, if we look at cherry tree, the domain name is pentesting.local. Just copy that. Okay, then after that, what we need to do is we need to specify which one is a DC that we want to get the information from. So DC IP, I want to use 192.168.1.50, which is one. That's one of them that has the LDAP port running, and we can see it in here, 192.168.1.50. It has LDAP running 389. All right, and then after that, I want to specify what do I want to get. So I want to get user names. Let's start with just usernames. And if you want to do an output directory, you can also do that. So let me go ahead and copy this command. And after we copy this command, we are going to create a directory. So make directory, and we are going to just call it data. That's fine. So now we can just paste that command again. And for O, we can just send it to the data folder. So no username provider, we'll try anonymous bind. See if we get that anonymous bind. Enumerate no users. So it gave me an error. In order to perform this operation successfully, bind must be completed on the connection. Okay, let's go ahead and try. See if we don't have to supply for that 52 is the other one. So this one didn't work either. You can see that we supply that, so it was able to bind, but it was not able to gather any other information. So what we need to do is now we need to specify the username and password. Remember that we found credentials on that SMB. So we can use IPsec and password 12345. That's what we're going to be using. Remember, we got that from the, what was it? We got it from the SMB of that Windows 2008 server. So let's go ahead and specify the username. It's going to be IPsec, and password is password 12345. Invalid credentials, IPsec password 12345. IPsec, do we need to specify binding error credentials, invalid credentials, password 123. Let's see if we do a Python 3.py. See how is it that we need to specify the username. So yeah, -1 and P for password. If not specified, will be prompted for. So the full username with domain to bind with. Okay, so we need. It looks like we need a domain in there. Let's try pen testing. It's still saying invalid credentials for IPsec password 12345. They will not try. Let's go ahead and try the other one. .50, and still telling me invalid credentials for IPsec and pen testing. Let's see, what if we put double quotes in here or something? IPDC is good. If we put double quotes in here. Oh, there we go. Dang it. Okay, so that's what it was. So we need to put double quotes, double backslash in here. Okay. So as you can see, after I put that double backslash, and we were able to connect with the credentials, the data, we sent it to that folder. So attempted, it was binded with the IPsec user, enumerating all users. They found 25 users. Administrator guess KRBTGT. So all of this in here, and it was saved in the TSV, data TSV. So if you go to CD into the data folder that we created, you can see that it was saved in here. Can we cat this file? There we go. So we are able to cat this bad boy. So you can see all the users in here, right? That's awesome. Awesome sauce. So let's go ahead and just quit, and let's go ahead and go back to it. We can go ahead and clear this out. If you want to get like more data, let's say you just want to do the groups, you can just put instead of uppercase U, you can put uppercase G, and we can save it in the same folder. Awesome. And let's go ahead and CD to the data, and now we have a groups one, so we can just see and cat the groups. So 0105. What? So why am I making this difficult? Let's go ahead and just copy this and cut this, and here are all the groups that we have in that domain. So that's awesome. You can see there's a bunch of groups in here. So we can just go ahead and what we could do is I can just rename this MV and just rename it to groups that TSV. So now it is called groups. Now we can also rename the users to users.tsv. Awesome. So clear. I want to just go back, and now what I want you to do, you don't have to actually just go one by one, but you could, if you just want to, let's say, search for unconstrained computers, you can do that in unconstrained computers. If you don't know what unconstrained is, we are going to be doing some unconstrained attacks later on, and unconstrained means that the computer is going to be able to basically impersonate anybody if you have the hashes for that. So let's say that we can have a domain, like a domain admin, connect to this computer, or like a domain admin connect to these unconstrained computers, and from there we can impersonate that as that domain admin. So you're going to be looking at that. That's something that a lot of people look for because it's a really easy attack. So let's go ahead and just say, like, oh, I just want to see if there's any unconstrained computers in there, and let's go ahead and output to the data right here. All right, let's see. Oh, actually, I think I just copy and paste this while I was talking. Let's go ahead and go back to the other command, and instead of the groups, we can just put unconstrained over here. Paste. Awesome. And I don't know if we found any. I found 2 unconstrained computers, and that is the AD and the DC. So AD is 192.168.1.50, which is a domain controller, and the DC is 192.168.1.52. So we don't really have any unconstrained computers, which means that because by default the domain controllers are unconstrained, have unconstrained delegation. If something else other than the domain controller have unconstrained delegation, then we should be able to attack. But as you can see over here, we don't have any right now. So if we go to the data folder, let's go ahead and just rename this. We have some weird naming convention over here, which I don't like. All right, and we do a cat unconstrained computers. You can see that we have AD and the DC, so the two domain controllers. And like I said before, by default the domain controllers do have unconstrained delegation. Okay, but let's say that you just want to get all the output and you don't want to just go line by one. You can just get all the output by doing the option over here. You can just say full. So if you do full, everything is going to be exported to the data. So we're going to get all the data, the computers, the unconstrained delegations, the users, the groups, the group policies, the ACO, all of that is going to be saved in here if with the full switch over here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. There we go. So it looks like everything was gathered. Let's go ahead and go to the data. Oop, ls. Did it not do full? Should be full, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at that command again. Python 3 and winapsearch. I'm in the data. That's why I couldn't run this. Let's go ahead and go back. What if we run it now? No, still this. Oh, no. Wait. ls. Yeah, Python 3 winapsearch search that by. If there is a full command or option, there is dump all the attributes from LDAP, but it looks like it's not running. So let's see. Groups functionality. Why isn't it the full working? I have no idea. Let's go ahead and just remove this at the end. Yeah, still not. It's not dumping it. Interesting. What if we use the Python winapsearch underscore that by, and we can just use the same. See if the Python version 2 is working. What if we put Python 2? Nah, it's not gonna work because I don't have LDAP. Yeah, that's not gonna work. All right, so it looks like the full. So I won't be able to dump all the. What if we don't specify anything, and we just put output to data? What is that going to do? Command not found. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Let's go ahead and just do Python 3, and we can just run the regular one that we were using for Python 3. So it looks like it's not dumping all the information. Okay, ls. Yes, it is not. CD data. There is nothing in data. Just the groups, unconstrained computers, and the users. Okay, so that's fine. It looks like for some reason this is not working. So I do have another tool that I want to go over. So let's go ahead and go to the next video and do the other script that we can use to dump LDAP information or the domain information, and we're going to use an LDAP domain dump.